Okay, everyone, thank you very much for coming to this training. My name is Marco. I am the project manager from Encore, um, behind setting up the Chime voting platform for this upcoming meeting. Um, any questions or concerns to do with Chime or our voting platform can be directed my way, as well as the way of my colleague Sierra, also on this call. Sierra and I are working closely together. The purpose of this training will be to instruct you on how to actually use Chime as a piece of voting software for this upcoming meeting. We do have two platforms that will be used at the same time. These are Chime, which is our voting platform, as well as Zoom, which will be used for attendees to actually watch the meeting as it is being conducted. I'll talk about the relationship between both of those platforms, how to access them, and then how to use Chime for voting in just a few moments. So as we get started, I'll first start talking about the few different platforms. Zoom will be used entirely to watch the meeting. For those who are permitted to do so, they will have access to unmute themselves and contribute vocally to the meeting. To everyone else, they will be able to watch the meeting as it's taking place via Zoom. Zoom will operate very standard, very typically to any other Zoom meeting, in a way that should hopefully be somewhat familiar. Chime is a platform that my company Encore is putting together and will be somewhat new and for the purpose of conducting voting. Access to both of these platforms, both Zoom and Chime, will come via an email message from me several days before the meeting begins. This email will contain a link to access the Zoom meeting. It'll include a link to access the Chime platform, and it will include login credentials to get you into these platforms. Zoom can be accessed from any device that has Zoom installed. This could be a desktop computer or a mobile device as well. We do recommend using Zoom on one device and using Chime on another device, although it is possible to use them on the same if you prefer. Accessing Zoom will be done via a link in that email, and can be done on your main device, such as a desktop computer. Chime is going to be accessed via a web browser on a second device. This could be on a mobile phone, it could be on an iPad, it could be on a laptop as well, via a web browser. The web browser is recommended to be Google Chrome. However, others such as Apple Safari also work very well. And this can be accessed on a device of any kind. That means that an Apple iPhone, an Android phone, a Mac, or a PC, all of these would suffice to access Chime. If you prefer to access these platforms, both Zoom and Chime, from the same device, you can. If you have a computer with a large display, you could open Zoom, and then side by side on a secondary display or on the side, you could have the Chime platform in a web browser. It's also very, very, very simple and recommended to have Zoom on one display, your bigger display, so you can watch the meeting in full screen, and to access the Chime platform on a smaller device or on a second device like a phone or an iPad to conduct your voting. I'm going to share my screen and show you what the Chime platform actually looks like, which you should see popping up in front of you shortly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is the Chime login page. So once you click the link that is included in that email, you can simply enter your login credentials just like you see here. It's very simple. It's a simple login, and then once you click login with your credentials, it'll bring you to the main page, and you can hit start to join the session. This is the main landing page. You'll see on the left-hand navigation bar, these are all of the features that are included within Chime. The main feature after the welcome page will be this live voting tab. We'll get to that in just a moment, but before I do, I'd like to talk about some of the other features that are included on this platform. Firstly, the agenda is right here. This is not filled out yet. It is being populated as we get closer to the meeting time, but I do want to highlight the fact that here at the top of the agenda, there's also going to be a link to access the live stream via Zoom. So it's going to be available both within that email that you receive as well as here on the Chime platform. And this is just a link that will open the Zoom meeting. Speaker biographies can also be included here, as well as resources that will be populated in this page as well. However, I do want to focus this meeting on the live voting portion. The last thing I'll highlight before we do is this last module called Need Help. This has access to our help desk and will be staffed during the event. So if any questions to do with the Chime platform arise at any time, clicking here for assistance will give you access to our support team at any time during the meeting. Now, throughout the sessions, voting will be taking place, and this can be done on this live voting tab right here. If you're to click here, it brings you to the live voting page. This page updates automatically. So as polls begin to become available, they'll show up here automatically and will look just like this as they do. When there's no polling taking place, this page will remain blank. As soon as a poll becomes available, it appears here. An answer can be selected, the submit button can be hit, and that's how an answer will be submitted. Now that we've conducted all of the questions at this time, you see that there are no additional questions appearing here. Questions should appear on this page automatically and very quickly within a few seconds of them being pushed by my team. If for some reason you are expecting the question to appear and it's not, I recommend first refreshing your page. A lot of the time that will assist in the case that these questions are not appearing. If refreshing the page does not work, I recommend hitting the Need Help button in the bottom left, like I suggested earlier. As new questions become available, you will see them appear automatically. Like I said below, here's an example of a new question becoming available. This question requires 2 responses. This will always be clarified at the top of the page if you need to submit more than 1 response. I can select 1 answer. I can select a second answer. It will not let me select more than 2 selections here. Once I've made my 2 selections, I can hit the submit button, and my 2 answers have been submitted. Finally, I realize that there are some questions that certain regions can vote on at some times, while not all regions being available to vote for these. Anytime that some questions are available for a select number of the people, but not all of the voting members of the organization, those questions will only appear to those who have access to those questions. So as an example, my profile right now is set up to be part of Region 8, and I'm pushing a question that is only available to Region 5. You see that nothing is appearing on my screen in front of me. I'm taking this down, and now I'm pushing a question specifically that targeted at Region 8. And you see that the question for Region 8 has appeared in front of me as expected. I'll say one more time, if you are expecting to be seeing a question that you have access to and it is not appearing on your screen, I recommend first refreshing the browser page. If this does not work, I definitely recommend first going to the Need Help button here. If you have any questions about anything to do with this platform as well, if they're not being directed towards myself, they can always be directed here to the Need Help window, and someone will be happy to get in touch with you. With all of that said, that is the conclusion of my portion of this training. I'd like to open it up for any questions in this audience. Please feel free to submit them now, and I'd be happy to address them. Yes, David Hines.
Is it possible that you can advise the attendees how to refresh? Normally on my computer, it's a function F5 or just F5.
Yes, that's a great point. This does differ by your device, so please know that everything I'm saying will be specific to the device or the web browser that you are choosing to use. On most Windows devices, F5 will refresh the page. On a Mac, you could hit Command R. On a Windows device, you could hit Control R for refresh. Both Command or Control R will refresh the page. And at the top of most browser windows, alongside the search bar, there's typically a button that indicates refresh. It normally looks like a circle with an arrow at the end of it. When in doubt, you can always close the browser window and reopen the link that was sent to you via the email. This will force reload the page as well. So if hitting that refresh button isn't as easy, or if hitting F5 isn't working, feel free to close the browser window, click that link again, the same one that you used to access the site the first time, and that will refresh the page. Fantastic. If no other questions, I will wrap up and say that this platform, while new, is designed to be as user-friendly as possible. If nothing else, please feel free to always log in and navigate directly to live voting. This is where the bulk of the use of this platform will be taking place. Questions should appear automatically throughout the meeting. And then if you'd like to watch along with the meeting and see what's happening, that will be done via the Zoom link in a separate meeting. Any other questions can be directed my way, towards my colleague Sierra, or from within the platform via the need help button here at the bottom. And with that said, thank you very, very much.